Hello, beauties. This is my 5 first tips for weight loss for beginners. I have so many of them. I just started writing down this huge list, and after a while I had 20, and I was like, I don't know if I want to tear through 20 of them. So I figured I'd just chop it up into bits of 5. We do 5 each time. They might seem a little redundant, but there are slight differences between each of them, so just hang in there with me. If you are interested in more of these, let me know. But I'm gonna go ahead and start because nobody likes a windy intro. So I say number 1 is probably the most important, because if you can't recognize this, then what the heck are you doing? You're wasting your time. Dieting is a lifestyle, okay? This is not a temporary change, all right? If you plan on seriously changing the way your body feels and looks and functions, you have to recognize that what you are doing is not something that's going to go away in 3 months or 90 days or 2 weeks or whatever fad you saw online. This isn't something that is temporary, because you have to think about where you are now and where you want to be. And in order to keep who you want to be as who you are, you have to stay the way that you've become. There is no, oh, if I eat differently or less or go to the gym for 2 months and achieve the body that I want, then I can go back to doing what I did before and keep that body that I achieved. No, that's not how it works. You have to stop looking at things as temporary adjustments and start recognizing that there are big adjustments that need to be made, but in order to make them, you have to chop them into tiny pieces that you can accomplish little bit by little bit. Okay, there's no start and end. You have to recognize that where you want to go is where you're going to have to stay. For example, if you cut yourself down to 800 calories a day, running an hour on the treadmill and for 5 days a week, and lifting crazy weights and just being extra restrictive and strict on yourself for 2 months, you want to know what's going to happen? Is your body's going to adapt to that 800 calories. You're going to drop a lot of weight for sure. You're going to be really tired and miserable at the same time. You're probably going to get injured in the process. But you can do that for 2 months and you'll see great results. And then all of a sudden, you'll stop seeing great results. Whatever you've achieved, if you want to keep that, you're going to have to keep eating 800 calories a day. You're going to have to keep doing the treadmill an hour, 5 days a week. You're going to have to keep lifting crazy weights. And you want to know what? You're going to be miserable. And you're going to get frustrated because you had wanted to achieve more. And you can't now because your metabolism has adapted to the process that you took on. So I don't think you're going to want to do that forever. So instead, you need to take small incremental changes and implement them over time and get used to doing them so that they become comfortable to you. So instead of an hour on the treadmill 5 days a week, you could have gone for a 15-minute walk around town 3 days a week, if even. And then maybe got used to doing weights 1 or 2 days a week. And, chop down your calories by 200 instead of 1,000 or 2,000 like you did. Because then you still have so much more to work on. You're still going to lose. It won't be a ton overnight. But you want small changes. You don't want big changes, okay? So that leads into my second point. Which is cheat meals or cheat days or cheat weekends, as they often turn into, are ruining your progress. If you are working so hard during the week and then rewarding yourself by splurging on the weekend, stop it. Make it smaller. Make it almost non-existent. Do it over a course of time, all right? You can start by making healthier choices, that you've got some extra calories to do, but you need to add all of those calories together. You need to make it all one cohesive thing, plan it out, eat a little less over here and there so that you can afford those things on the calories and maintain your deficit throughout the week. Because how you're going to lose weight is being in a caloric deficit. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's really important. If you are doing really well during the week and then splurging on the weekends to where you're no longer in a deficit for the week or the month, you're not going to lose weight. And with that being said, tip number 3 is you don't technically have to work out to lose weight. You just have to be in a caloric deficit. It's really that simple. But it sounds simple, but there are a lot of these little steps in between. And I will give a bunch of diet tips in other videos to help overcome binging that comes with deficits. You don't have to work out, but it does help. Alright, so that takes us to tip number 4. If you are building muscle, and the scale, if you're building muscle, as in going to the gym, lifting heavy stuff, pushing yourself, sweating every day, if the scale doesn't move, then you are still losing fat, but gaining muscle slowly. It's a slow process for muscle, alright? If you're just beginning, you're going to gain a lot more muscle than you would if you've been lifting for 5 to 10 years or more. But you don't have to work out strenuously, but you do need to move more and eat less. If you are working out a lot, like at least 3 or 4 times a week, lifting weights, pushing yourself, then you are gaining muscle if the scale isn't moving. So, should be pretty proud of that too. Don't get discouraged. Keep going. Number 5. This one is a huge myth, which is if you want to lose fat somewhere, you should work that area of your body. Absolute opposite. If you want a part of your body to shrink, you should not be working it out. Like, it is best to maintain balance throughout your whole body. You definitely want to have muscle balance. But if you want your butt to shrink, stop working your butt every day. Alright? This was something that took me a while. Because I wanted to lose fat everywhere, particularly my stomach and my back. And what did I do? I started doing lots and lots of heavy compounds for my back and my abdominal workouts and oblique workouts. If you want your waist to shrink, the fat will come off and shrink your waist. But if you are doing a lot, like excessive ab exercises, your midsection is going to get thicker. Okay? Your obliques are going to grow, your abdominals are going to grow, and that's just, if you're not losing fat fast enough, you're going to think you're getting fatter. So that's the science there, okay? I was getting all upset whenever it was happening to me because I had shirts that my back and my shoulders were growing and my lats were growing because I was lifting so heavy, like 2, 3, 4 times a week, each of these body parts, because I was obsessed for a little while until I was putting on my clothes, and when I couldn't move in them because if I stretched too hard, they would split in the back. And I didn't understand why. I was like, I'm eating better, I'm doing my cardio, I'm working out, lifting these weights. Why is my back and shoulders and butt getting bigger? And it's because I was lifting heavy weights. Alright, hypertrophy. Muscle hypertrophy is your muscle growth. And that being said, that did take some time. Alright, ladies, don't think that just because I started doing that, you're going to start ripping your clothes open. No, I never actually ripped anything, but I did have to swap out some clothes because they just didn't fit my more muscular frame. And if you want to know anything about your body recomposition, I mean, you can look that up, But one great thing about body recomposition is if you want a smaller waist, which almost all ladies do, is you want to work out your shoulders, your back, and your butt and hips, your legs, right? Because your waist is made out of fat and it'll shrink as time goes on. But if you have wider shoulders, wider hips, or bigger butt, if you want those things, then your waist will look smaller in the middle because you'll have an X frame, which is a very coveted frame in the bodybuilding world. Bodybuilding world. So those things to keep in mind. 1, dieting is a lifestyle. 2, weekend or cheat days may be ruining your progress. Stick to your numbers. 3, you don't technically have to work out to lose weight, but it helps. 4, even if the scale doesn't move, you may be building muscle. So technically you are still losing fat. 5 is working out one area of your body will not make it shrink. You have to lose body fat throughout your whole body for it to shrink. And if you work it enough, it will start to grow. Muscle hypertrophy. So thank you very much for my first 5 tips on body recomposition, weight loss, fat loss, call it what you may. They're all generally within the same family. But I'll call it one thing in the title. You already know what it is. But okay, thanks. Bye.